Hey y'all, welcome to Cop Work. Today we're talking about being a canine officer and running Bloodhound. The challenges and the rewards of doing that. I was a canine officer forever. I ran Bloodhound, ran that dog right there. Her name's Ashley, it's the first dog I ever had. And I never did run a dope dog, I never did run a bite dog. I only ran a Bloodhound. And the thing about running them is you have to go every step they step, you step. You cannot run them off lead. Run them on about a 20 or 25 foot lead. You go everywhere they go. These dogs are not bite dogs. And you have to be prepared if you're chasing somebody that's bad. I used to have officers that go with me, and when we would get close, if we were chasing somebody who was bad, I would tell them, draw your guns, because Ashley I taught her that when we got close to the person to pick up the pace and start to run. And so that was just a safety feature for me, to know so I wouldn't get killed and so she wouldn't get killed. And today what we're going to talk about is a bank robbery, and the information that we gave the local agency helped determine who did it. We didn't catch the person who did it. Eventually the FBI knew who did it, but what we did was contribute to that factor. And what it was we had there was a bank in a local town, and they called me one day because the teller had gotten there and said that when she got out of the car, that a man jumped out of the bushes and pointed a gun at her, made her go in the bank and turn the cameras off, and robbed the bank. Well, I go and we make a scent pad. The bank is like up here, and there's a parking lot, of course, for the bank. Well, I made a scent pad off the ground where the woman, the teller was, who said that where this guy stood. So I said, okay, well, we'll try. And we leave the bank parking lot. Off we go, and there's a highway here, and there's a post office and several other buildings. And off we go, and we're really just zooming down the highway, and I think we got probably about a half a mile, maybe. And I'm thinking, oh boy, you know, maybe this guy was in a car, and this track we're just going to go on the highway and out of town. Well, it was running like a car track, and which is the dog would quarter, and what that means is the dog would go to the side of the road and then back to the middle of the road and back to the side of the road and back to the middle of the road. It's different when somebody is on foot. The tracks look differently, and for all those of you who are bloodhound handlers, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going across there, and all of a sudden there's a railroad track right here, and we're literally running down the middle of the road, and I'm thinking, oh, we're going to shut this down any second because we're not getting anywhere. We're just going to go on the highway and, you know, out of town. I'm never going to catch them. Well, about the time I think that, I see Ashley's head snap left, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, here we go. And sure enough, we shot across those railroad tracks, and there was a road down here, and there's an elementary school down here. Well, we are zooming now. I mean, she's like, I got him. And I'm thinking, we're going to an elementary school. No, bank robbery ain't going to elementary school. Actually, you are wrong. Well, we get down there, and actually there's a little cul-de-sac, the road ends where the school is. Ashley's like, I'm done. I'm telling you, they're in that elementary school. And I'm thinking, no, that's not right. if there was a bad guy in the elementary school, everybody would know it by now. So I had to go back and tell them, I said, y'all, I don't know. I said, we're running along here and running on the middle of the highway, and I'm thinking we're going to go, you know, just keep going down the highway. And because they were in a car, and I thought, I'm going to shut this down, and, you know, we'll never catch them. And I said, well, we got right across here where the railroad tracks were. I said, all of a sudden, I said, Ashley's head just snapped left, and we just bolted. And we just zoomed right down there to this elementary school. And they were like, we don't know. I thought, I don't know either. So there was an FBI guy there, and I had known him from previous case several years before, working shooting in another town where I worked before I had gotten Ashley for this same agency. And he says, I said, you know, I said, I don't know. I don't. I'll tell you right now, I don't know. Well, he called me a couple of days later, and he said, can you come and bring the dog to this neighborhood in another town to see if the guy that did it lives in this neighborhood? I said, yeah, I'll be more than happy to try that. So we did. Well, we didn't get anywhere. I said, I don't know, y'all. I said, I don't think so. We're not getting anywhere. Nothing. He said, okay. So then I'm working another case, and I see him again, the same agent. And this is probably, I don't know, a year later maybe. And he said, hey, I solved that bank robbery. I said, oh, you did? Who was it? He said, it was the teller. I said, what are you talking about? It was the teller. He said, yeah, it was the teller. He said, she lawyered up when we got to hammering her. He said, I said, well, what was at the elementary school? He said she had a kid that went to elementary school. And what we had done was we followed her from that bank down here, and she dropped that kid off. And then she went back and said that there was a bank robbery. There was no bank robbery. She's the one that took the money. And I don't know if they ever proved it. She obviously got fired. But she lawyered up, and they used, the FBI agent told me, he said, we used what your dog did. We used that track against her. And when we started in with that track, she said, I ain't got nothing to say to y'all. I'm done. And she lawyered up. So it's amazing what you can find. And even a long time after things happen, you don't always know the answer instantly. I certainly didn't. And I was really, really shocked with that one. I was like, I don't even know what to say. He said, well, your dog was right again. I said, yeah, she was. She was right again. But I just didn't know what right meant. And so that's the challenges of working a bloodhound, is you don't always know the answer. And sometimes the answer shows up, but it shows up years or so later. So it was the most fun, and she did a great job. But that's what they can be used for. Not just finding people right then, but helping give the answer to a case. And so you hear me say it all the time at the end of these videos. If you can, give money to the hurricane relief effort. They still need the money, and they still need the help. And if you can, help them out. And one of my favorite cop shows I've ever been on was Hill Street Blues. And that patrol sergeant, when he would end briefing, he would say, let's be careful out there. And I always want to paraphrase that and say, y'all be careful out there.